Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Cut by Sarah Becker. Act 1, Scene 1. Enter two sentinels. First, Francisco, who paces up and down at his post. Then Bernardo, who approaches him.
Who's there?
Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king?
Bernardo?
He.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had a quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals of my watch, bid them make haste.
Enter Horatio and Marcellus.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who is there?
Friends to this ground.
Liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Hello, Bernardo.
Say, what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What, has this thing appeared again tonight?
I've seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
Last night of all, when yon same star that westward from the pole had made his course illume the part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating one.
Enter Ghost.
Peace! Break thee off. Look where it comes again.
Oh, in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio.
What art thou that usurps this time of night? By heaven I charge thee, speak.
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak, speak. I charge thee, speak.
Exit Ghost.
'Tis gone, and will not answer.
How now, Horatio?
It is not like the king?
As thou art to thyself.
Good. Now, sit down, and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly tolls the subject of this land. Who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even now but appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway, dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay the Fortinbras, who by a sealed compact did forfeit all those his lands which he stood seized of to the conqueror. Now, sir, young Fortinbras of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes to recover of us those foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations and the source of our watch. A mote it is to trouble the mind's eye.
Enter Ghost again.
But soft, beyond, lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If there be any good thing to be done that may to thee do ease and grace to me, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing in may avoid, oh, speak. Stay and speak. Stop it, Marcellus.
'Tis here.
'Tis here.
'Tis gone.
Exit Ghost.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons. But look, the morn, in russet mantle clad, walks o'er the dew of yon high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit, dumb to us, will speak to him.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 2. Elsinore, a room of state in the castle. Flourish. Enter Claudius, king of Denmark, Gertrude, the queen, Hamlet, Polonius, Laertes, and his sister Ophelia, Voltimand Cornelis, lord's attendant.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, And that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister, now our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with one auspicious and a drooping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale, wearing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we herein barred your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now, follows that you know, young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, he hath not failed to pester us with message, importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bands of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Thus much the business is. We here have writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, who impotent and bedrid scarce hears of this his nephew's purpose, to suppress his further gait herein. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelius, and you, Voldemont, for bearers of this greeting to old Norway. Farewell, and let your haste commend your duty.
In that and all things we will show our duty.
We doubt it nothing. Heartily farewell.
Exeunt Voltimand and Cornelius.
And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is it, Laertes? What wouldst thou beg, Laertes? That shall not be my offer, not thy asking. The head is not more native to the heart, the hand more instrumental to the mouth, than is the throne of Denmark to thy father. What wouldst thou have, Laertes?
My dear lord, your leave and favor to return to France.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, my cousin Hamlet and my son.
Little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord, I am too much in the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted color off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with these veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowst, human, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam? Nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, nor the dejected behavior of the visage, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which path is show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father. But you must know, your father lost a father. That father lost his. And the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. We pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father. For let the world take note, you are the most immediate to our throne. With no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart to you. For your intent in going back to Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye. Our chiefest courtier cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers, Hamlet. I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall in all my best obey you, madam.
Why, 'tis a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling in my heart. In grace whereof, no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the general cannon to the cloud shall tell, and the kings rouse the heaven shall bruit again, re-speaking earthly thunder. Come, away.
Flourish. Exeunt all but Hamlet.
That this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew, but that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter. Oh God. How weary, stale, flat, and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie on't, oh fie. 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it nearly. That it should come to this, but 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2. So excellent a king, that was to this Hyperion satyr, so loving to my mother that he might not between the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly. Heaven and earth, must I remember? Why, she would hang on him as if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on. And yet within a month, let me not think on't. Frailty, thy name is woman. A little month, or ere those shoes were old with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe, all tears. Like even she, God, a beast that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer. Married with my uncle, my father's brother, but no more like my father than I to Hercules. Little month, or ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed, to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good, but break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Enter Horatio, Marcellus, and Bernardo.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see you well. Horatio, or do I forget myself?
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Sir, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what makes you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus?
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good even, sir. But what, in faith, make you from Wittenberg? What is your affair in Elsinore? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I prithee, do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. What I had met my dearest foe in heaven, or ever I had seen that day, Horatio. My father. I see my father.
Oh, where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man. Take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw? Who?
My lord, the king, your father.
the king my father?
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch, in the dead vast and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. This to me in dreadful secrecy in part they did, and I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, whereas they had delivered both in time form of the thing, each word made true and good. The apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none.
'Tis very strange.
As I do live, my honored lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed, sirs, but this troubles me. How do you watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My lord, from top to toe, head to foot.
Then saw you not his face.
Oh, yes, my lord. He wore his beaver up.
What looked he frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it, though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. So fare you well. Upon the platform twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
Your love's as mine to you. Farewell.
Exeunt all but Hamlet.
My father's spirit in arms? All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night were come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise, though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
Exit. Act 1, Scene 3. Elsinore, a room in the house of Polonius. Enter Laertes and Ophelia.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
You doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, but you must fear. His greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain. If with too cretin ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open it to his unmastered importunity, fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles like a puffed and reckless libertine himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not.
Enter Polonius.
I stay too long, but here comes my father.
Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame, the wind sits in the shoulder of your sail and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them unto thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is it, Ophelia, that he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Very well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have your audience been most free and bounteous. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach you. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in an honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springs to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. From this time be something scanter of your maiden presence, for Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows. This is for all. I would not in plain terms from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 4. Elsinore, the platform before the castle. Enter Hamlet, Horatio, and Marcellus.
The air bites shrewdly, is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed, I heard it not. It then draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk.
A flourish of trumpets and 2 pieces go off.
What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight, takes his rouse, keeps wassail, and the swaggering uprising reels, and as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
Is it a custom?
Aye, Mary, is't, but to my mind, though I'm native here, and to the manner born, it is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance.
Enter Ghost.
Look, my lord, it comes.
Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of hell or goblin damned. Bring with the airs of heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Hamlet King, Father, Royal Dane. Oh, answer me.
It beckons you to go away with it.
It waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
It will not speak. Then I will follow it.
Do not, my lord.
Why, what should it be? The fear. I do not set my life at a pin's fee. For my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? Oh, it waves me forth again. I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord, or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, and there assume some other horrible form which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness? Think of it.
Waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee.
You shall not go, my lord.
Hold off your hands.
Be ruled, you shall not go.
My fate cries out, unhand me, gentlemen. By heaven, I'll make a ghost out of him that stays me. I say, away. Go on, I'll follow thee.
Exeunt Ghost and Hamlet.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it.
Nay, let's follow him.
Exeunt. Act 1, Scene 5. Elsinore, the castle, another part of the fortifications. Enter Ghost and Hamlet.
Whither wilt thou lead me? Speak, I'll go no further.
Mark me. I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain time to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast and fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burnt and purged away. List. Oh, list. If thou didst ever thy dear father love.
Oh, God.
Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. Murder most foul as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I, with wings as swift as meditation of the thoughts of love, may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt now, Hamlet, here. 'Tis given out, sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Prophetic soul, my uncle.
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast with witchcraft of his wit, won his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. But soft. Methinks I scent the morning air. Brief, let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always of the afternoon, upon my secure hour thy uncle stole, with juice of cursed Hibonia in a vial, and in the porches of my ears did pour the leprous distilment. Thus was I sleeping, by a brother's hand of life, of crown, of queen, at once dispatched. Cut off even in the blossoms of my sin, with all my imperfections on my head.
Oh, horrible, most horrible.
If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven. Fare thee well at once. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Remember me.
Oh, you host of heaven, oh, earth, what else? Shall I couple hell? Oh, my heart. And you, my sinews, grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee? Yeah. I, thou poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe. Remember thee? Yeah. I'll wipe away all trivial font records, all saws of books, all forms, all pressures past that youth in observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven. Oh, most pernicious woman. No, villain, smiling, damned villain. Out to my work. It is adieu. Adieu. Remember me. I have sworn.
My lord! My lord!
Enter Horatio and Marcellus.
Lord Hamlet,
Heaven secure him.
So be it.
how is't, my noble lord?
What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you will reveal it.
Not I, my lord, by heaven.
Nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret?
Aye, by
Aye,
heaven.
by heaven, my lord.
There's ne'er a villain dwelling in all Denmark. But he's an errant knave.
There needs no ghost, my lord, come from the grave to tell us this.
Why, right. You are in the right, and so without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man hath business and desire, such as it is, for my own poor part. Look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you heartily. Yes, faith, heartily.
There's no offense, my lord.
Yes, by St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio, and much offense too. Touching this vision here, it is an honest ghost. That let me tell you. For your desire to know what is between us, or master it, as you may. And now, good friends, as you are, my friends, scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is it, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear't.
In faith, my lord, not I.
Nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We have sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed.
Swear.
Consent to swear.
Propose the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear.
Oh, day and night, this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger give it welcome, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. But come here as before, never before, as before, never. So help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such times seeing me never shall with arms uncovered, or with head shake, or by pronouncing some doubtful phrase as well we know, or we could and if we might, or if we list to speak, or there be and if there might, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This is not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Swear.
Swear.
Do we swear?
We swear.
Rest, perturbed spirit. Let us go in together. And still your fingers on your lips, I pray. The time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite that I was ever born to set it right. Nay, come, let's go together.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1. Elsinore, a room in the house of Polonius. Enter Polonius and Reynaldo. Enter Ophelia.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
What? With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, ungartered, and down-jived to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist, and he held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand, thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head, thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh, so piteous and profound as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, go with me, I will go seek the king. This is the very ecstasy of love. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment, I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to rack thee, but beshrew my jealousy. Come, go we to the king. This must be known. Come.
Exeunt. Act 2, Scene 1. Scene 2. Elsinore, a room in the castle. Flourish. Enter King and Queen, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you, the need we have for you did provoke our hasty sending. Something you have heard of Hamlet's transformation, so I call it, since neither the exterior nor the inward man resembles that it was. What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from the understanding of himself, I cannot dream of. I entreat you both that, being of so young days brought up with him, that you draw him on to pleasures, and to gather whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentlemen, he hath much talked of you, and sure I am two men there are not living to whom he most adheres. If it will please you to expend your time with us a while, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king.
But both your majesties might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey, and here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet to be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen to where Hamlet is.
Heaven make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, with some attendants. Enter Polonius.
Assure you, my good liege, I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king, and I do think, or else this brain of mine hunts not the trail of policy so sure as it used to do, that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak to that. That do I long to hear. He tells me, my dear Gertrude, he hath found the head and source of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our or hasty marriage.
My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, what day is day, night is night, and time is time, were nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, such brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness, the limbs and outward flourishes. I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad, call I it, for to define true madness, what is it but to be nothing else but mad? But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true. 'Tis true, 'tis pity, and pity 'tis true. A foolish figure. But farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad, let us grant him then. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience, Mark, hath given me this. Now gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia, that's an ill phrase, a vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase, but you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madams, stay a while. I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. Thine evermore, most dear lady, whilst this machine is to him Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me.
But how has she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As a man faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing? What might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had given my heart a wink, mute and dumb, or looked upon this love with idle sight? Or might you, what might you think? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress, thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star. This must not be. And then I gave prescripts to her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done, she took the fruits of my advice, and he repulsed. A short tale to make, fell into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be the very like.
Hath there been such a time? I would fain know that I have positively said 'tis so, when it proved otherwise.
Not that I know.
Take this from me, if this be otherwise.
How may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks for hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him, be you and I behind an arras then. Mark the encounter. If he love her not, and he not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
Enter Hamlet, reading on a book.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes reading.
Away, I do beseech you both. Away, I'll board him presently. Oh, give me leave.
Exeunt King and Queen with attendants.
How does the good Lord Hamlet?
Oh, God a mercy.
Do you know me, my lord?
Oh, excellent. Well, you are a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so an honest man.
Honest, my lord.
Aye, sir. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the sun breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god, kissing, carrying. Have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to't.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Words, words.
What is the matter, my lord?
Between whom?
I mean the matter that you read, my lord.
Oh, slanders, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have gray beards. Which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am, if, like a crab, you could move backwards.
Though this be madness, yet there is some method in it. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave?
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. My honorable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I will more willingly part with all, except my life. Accept my life, accept my life, accept my life.
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Fare you well, my lord.
Ah, these tedious old fools!
You go to seek the Lord Hamlet? There he is.
God save you, sir.
Exit Polonius.
Oh, my honored lord!
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz, good lads, how do ye both?
Most the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors.
Faith, her private.
In the secret parts of Fortune, oh, most true, she is a strumpet. Oh, what news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near? but your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of Fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Well, then your ambition makes it. It is too for your mind.
Oh, God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams. Oh, but in the beaten way of friendship, what makes you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other reason.
Beggar that I am, I'm even poor in thanks, but I thank you. Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come. Nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for. And there's a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me, but be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery, and your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory, this most excellent canopy. The air, look you, the brave o'erhanging firmament. This majestical roof fretted with golden fire, it appeareth no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no, nor woman neither. Though by your smiling, you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We pass them on the way, and hither they are coming to offer you service.
Oh, he that plays the king shall be welcome. What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take such delight in, the tragedians of the sea. There are the
For the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Your hands, come. You are welcome. But my uncle father and aunt mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Enter Polonius.
Well, be with you, gentlemen.
Hark you, Guildenstern, and you too, at each ear a hearer. That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds. I will prophesy he comes to tell me of the players' market.
My lord, I have news to tell you.
Buzz, buzz.
The actors are come hither. My lord, the best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene, individable, or poem unlimited.
Enter 4 or 5 players.
Oh, you are welcome, masters. Welcome all. I'm glad to see you well. Oh, welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend masters, you are all welcome. We'll have a speech. Straight, come. Give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my good lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. For the play, I remember, please, not the million. One speech in't I chiefly loved, 'twas Aeneas' tale to Dido, and thereabout of it, especially where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. Oh, 'tis not so. It begins with Pyrrhus, the rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the night resemble, when he lay couched on the ominous horse, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus, old grandsire Priam speaks. So proceed you.
For God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent and good discretion.
Anon, he finds him, striking 2 shorted Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls. Repugnant to command, unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide. But with the whip and wind of his fell sword, the nerved father falls. Then senseless Ilium, seeming to feel this blow, for lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So as the painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and the matter did nothing. But as we often see against some storm a silence in the heavens, anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region. So after Prius' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor, forged for proof etern. With less remorse than Prius' bleeding sword, now falls on Priam. Out, thou strumpet fortune!
This is too long.
Oh, shout to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jag or tale of Baudry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who, oh, who had seen the mobled queen?
The mobled queen.
That's good. The mobled queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames with bison room, clout upon that head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe, a blanket, in the alarm of fear caught up. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look where he's not turned his color and has tears in his eyes. Prithee, no more.
As well. I'll have thee speak out the rest of this soon. Good, my lord, will you see the players well bestowed? Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. After your death, you were better have a bad epitaph than their ill report while you live.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's bodykins, man, much better. Use every man after his own desert. And who should escape whipping? Use them after your own honor and dignity. The less they deserve, the more merit is in your bounty. Take them in.
Come, sirs.
Follow him, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow.
Exeunt Polonius and players, except the first.
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some dozen or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert into, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and look you, mock him not.
Exit first player.
My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
Aye, so God be with ye.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Now I'm alone. Ah, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing? For Hecuba. Well, what's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? Ah, what would he do? Had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have, he would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with hard speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metalled rascal, peak like John of Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, plucks out my beard and blows it in my face. It tweaks me by the nose, give me lie in the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Since I should take it, for it cannot be, but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or else this, I should have fatted all the region kites with the slaves of fall. God, bloody, body villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Ah! What an ass am I. This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a very drab, a scullion. Fie upon it! Out my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of a scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle, and I'll observe his looks. I'll tend him to the quick, if he but blench. I'll know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil have power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have more grounds. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Act 3, Scene 1, Elsinore, a room in the castle. Enter King, Queen, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern.
And can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
Did you assay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way. Of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it. They are here about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this knight to play before him.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart, and it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge, and drive his purposes on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us too, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. Her father and myself, lawful espials, will so bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge and gather by him, as he is behaved, if it be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you.
Exit Queen.
Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book. That show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let us withdraw, my lord.
Exeunt King and Polonius. Enter Hamlet.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. To die. To sleep. No more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. It's a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. From that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. Must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a fair bodkin? Who would mortals bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great faith of moment with disregard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action. What soft you now, the fair Ophelia? Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you well, well, well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours. I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
No, not I never gave you up.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. I am very proud, revengeful, ambitious, and with more offenses at my back than I have thoughts to put them in, imagination to give them shape, or time to act them in. What would such fellows as I do, crawling between earth and heaven? We are errant knaves, all, believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house. Farewell.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery. Go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool, for wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery, go, and quickly to farewell. I have heard of your paintings too well enough. God hath given you one face, and you make yourselves another. Go to. I'll no more on't. It hath made me mad. I say we will have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To a nunnery. Go.
Oh. What a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, scholars, soldiers, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and the rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and the mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me to have seen what I have seen.
Enter King and Polonius.
Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul over which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England. What think you on it?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia, you need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all, my lord. Do as you please, but if you hold it fit after the play, let his queen mother, all alone, entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Exeunt. Act 3, Scene 2. Elsinore, hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and 3 of the players.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much. Do not saw the air too much with your hands, but use gently, or in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, whirlwind of your passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. It offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings who, for the most part, are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. Pray you avoid it.
I warrant, your honor.
Be not too tame, neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end both at the first and now was and is, to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature. There be players that I have seen play and heard others praise, and that highly, and not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian pagan nor man, have so strutted and bellowed that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. God, they imitated humanity so abominably.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, sir.
I'll reform it altogether. Go, make you ready.
Exeunt players. Enter Polonius, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
How now, my lord? Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste.
Exit Polonius.
Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
Exeunt they two.
What ho, Horatio?
Enter Horatio.
Here, sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art even as just a man as e'er my conversation caught withal.
Oh, my dear lord.
There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I've told thee of my father's death. I prithee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe my uncle. If his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one's speech, it is a damned ghost that we have seen. Give him heedful note, for mine eyes will rivet to his face, and after we will both our judgments join in censure of his seeming.
Well, my lord.
Enter trumpets and kettle drums, Danish march. Enter King, Queen, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and other lords attendant, with the guard carrying torches.
They're coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, in faith, of the chameleon's dish. I eat the air, promise crammed. You cannot feed cape and soap.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet, sit by me.
No, good mother, here's metal more attractive.
Oh, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean, my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
That's a fair thought, to lie between maids' legs.
You are merry, my lord.
Oh, who I? Oh, what should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
Oh, so long? Oh, heavens, died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet? Then there's hope. A great man's memory may outlive his life half a year.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or a posy of harangue?
Is brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Enter 2 players as king and queen.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count our love be done.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do. For husband shalt thou...
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. When second husband let me be accursed, none wed the second, but who killed the first.
Wormwood, wormwood.
The instances that second marriage move are base respects of thrift, but not of love. A second time I kill my husband dead when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what you now speak, but what we do determine oft we break. This world is not for aye, nor 'tis not strange that even our loves should with our fortunes change. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Both here and hence pursue me lasting strife, if once a widow, ever I be wife.
If she should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn, sweet. Leave me here a while, my spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Okay, exit.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
Oh, no, they do but jest. Poison and jest, no offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. 'Tis a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not.
Enter Lucianus.
Ooh, this one is Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You are as good as a chorus, my lord.
Begin, murderer, come. The croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit in times agreeing. Thy natural magic and dire property on wholesome life usurp immediately.
Pours the poison in his ears.
The king rises.
How fares, my lord?
Give o'er the play.
Give me some light. Away.
Lights.
Lights!
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 Exeunt all but Hamlet and Horatio.
Why you let the stricken deer go, the heart ungalled play. For some must watch while some must sleep, thus runs the world away. Ah, good Horatio, I'll take the ghost word for 1,000 pounds. Didst perceive?
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning?
I did very well note him.
Come, some music, come the recorders, come, some music.
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir,
Aye, sir, what of him?
is in his retirement marvelous distempered.
With drink, sir?
No, my lord, rather with choler.
Your wisdom should show itself more richer to signify this to the doctor.
Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, has sent me to you.
You're welcome.
Nay, good my lord, this courtesy is not of the right breed. If it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandment.
Sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased, but, sir, my mother, you say...
And what she says. Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
A wonderful son that can so astonish a mother.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And do still by these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Enter the players with recorders.
Oh, the recorders! Let me see one. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord,
I pray you.
believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
No touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumbs and give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look, you, these are the stops.
These cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me, and you would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet you cannot make it speak. Sblood, do you think I'm easier to be played upon than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. Oh, God bless you, sir.
My lord, the queen would speak with you, and presently.
Do you see yonder cloud that's in shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks it is like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by.
I will say so.
Exit.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends.
Exeunt all.
'Tis now the very witching time of night, when churchyards yawn and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on so. Now to my mother.
Act 3, Scene 3. A room in the castle.
We are taking a brief intermission. Thank you. We will be back at 9:33. And we are back. Can I get a roll call?
Here.
Here.
Here, here.
Here, we're here.
Yay, yay.
Reason.
Okay.
Good to
Great.
go, I think.
Act 3, Scene 3. A room in the castle. Enter King Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
I like it not, nor stands with safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. I, your commission, will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you.
We will haste us.
Exeunt gentlemen. Enter Polonius.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear their process. Fare you well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, dear my lord.
Exit Polonius.
Ah, my offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray, can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of intent, of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder? It cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in its true nature. And we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can. What can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? Wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. Oh, limed soul that, struggling to be free, art more engaged. Help, angels. Make essay. Bow, stubborn knees, and with hearts, with strings of steel, be soft as the sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
He kneels. Enter Hamlet.
Now might I do it, lad. Now he is praying, and now I'll do it. And so he goes to heaven, and so I am revenged. That would be scanned. Villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain, sent to heaven. Why this is higher in salary, not revenge. Up, sword. And know thou more horrid hint when he's drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that hath no relish of salvation, and then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes. My mother stays, is physic, but prolongs thy sickly days.
Exit.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
Exit. Act 3, Scene 4. The Queen's Closet. Enter Queen and Polonius.
He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Pray you be round with him.
I warrant you, fear me not. Withdraw, I hear him coming.
Polonius hides behind the arras. Enter Hamlet.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why now, how, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Have you forgotten me?
No, you are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come, and sit you down. You shall not budge, where you go not, till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me. Help!
What help? Oh, help!
Now a rat dead for a ducat dead.
Makes a pass through the arras and kills Polonius.
Oh, I'm slain.
What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed, almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Kill a king?
Aye, lady, it was my word.
Lifts up the arras and sees Polonius.
Oh, thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune. I'll leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down and let me wring your heart, for so I shall if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty. Calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love and sets a blister there. Makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths.
What act?
Look here upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on his brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, and I like Mars to threaten and command. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this?
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over
Oh,
the...
speak no more. These words are like daggers entered mine heart. No more, sweet Hamlet, no more.
Murderer and a villain that from the shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket.
No more.
The king of shreds
Enter
and
the ghost in his
patches.
nightgown.
Save me. Oh, and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
Alas, he is mad.
O king of shreds and patches, save me and hover o'er me with your wings, you heaven. Oh, do you not come, your tardy son to chide? Oh, say.
Do not forget. This visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother sit so. Step between her and her fighting soul. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is it with you? You do bend your eye on vacancy. Whereon do you look?
On him. On him. Oh, look you how pale he glares. Do you see nothing there?
Nothing at all. Yet all that is, I see.
Look you there, how it steals away my father. Look where he goes even now out the portal.
Exit ghost.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation ecstasy is very cunning on.
Ecstasy?
Aye.
My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass, but my madness speaks. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it and lift the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence, the next more easy. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For this same Lord, I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel only to be kind. Thus bad begins and worse remains behind. Oh, one word more, good mother.
What shall I do?
Not this. By no means that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed. Pinch wanton on your cheek, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of rachy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers, make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured. If words be made of breath and breath of life, I have no life but breath, what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that?
Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letter sealed, and my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as adders fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery. Let it work. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counselor is most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish prating knave. Come, sir, to draw toward an end with you. Good night, mother.
Exit the Queen, then exit Hamlet, tugging in Polonius. Act 4, Scene 1. Elsinore, a room in the castle. Enter King and Queen with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Gertrude, where is your son?
Aye, my lord. What have I seen tonight?
What? How does Hamlet?
Mad. Mad as the sea and wind when both contend with which is the mightier. In his lawless fit behind the arras, hearing something stir, whips out his rapier, cries, "A rat! A rat!" And in this brainish apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all, to you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how shall this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed. He weeps for what he is done.
Gertrude, come away. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. Oh, Guildenstern?
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go, seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. I pray you, haste in this.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Come, Gertrude. Oh, come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 2. Elsinore, a passage in the castle. Enter Hamlet.
Safely stowed. But soft? What noise? Who calls on Hamlet? Ah, here they come.
Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Pounded it with dust. Whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where 'tis, that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel, and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge.
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir. That soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities. But such officers do the king best service. In the end, he keeps them like an ape in the corner of his jaw, first mouth to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge, you shall be dry again.
Understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A knavish speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord?
Of nothing.
Enter King.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he's eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eaten at him. Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and your lean beggar is but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Where's Polonius?
In heaven. Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go upstairs into the lobby.
Go, seek him there.
He won't stay till you come.
Exeunt
Hamlet.
attendant.
Hamlet, this deed for thine especial safety must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. Everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it, if thou knewst our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
Oh, my mother. Father and mother is one man. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh. And so my mother. Come for England.
Exit.
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. Pray you, make haste.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
And England? Oh, if my love thou hold'st at aught, as my great power thereof may give thee sense, thou mayst not coldly set our sovereign purpose, which imports at full, by letters congruent to that effect, the present death of Hamlet. Do it, England, for like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, howe'er my haps, my joys were ne'er begun.
Exit. Act 4, Scene 4, near Elsinore. Enter Norwegian captain with his army over the stage. Enter Hamlet, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others.
Good sir, whose powers are these?
They are of Norway, sir.
How purpose, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Commands them, sir.
The nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Huh. Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, or some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition, we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5, I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a ranker rate, should it be sold in fee.
Why, then the Polak never will defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned.
2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of the straw. I humbly thank you, sir.
God be with you, sir.
Will it please you go?
I'll be with you straight. Go a little before.
Exeunt all but Hamlet.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. What is a man? In his chief and good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed. A beast, no more. Sure, he that made us with such large discourse looking before and after gave us not that capability and godlike reason to fust in us unused. Now, whether it be bestial oblivion or some craven scruple of thinking too precisely on the event, of thought which quartered hath but 1 part wisdom and ever 3 parts coward. I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do. Saith I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exhort me. Witness this army and such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit, with divine ambition puffed, makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Rightly to be great is not to stir without great argument, but greatly to find quarrel in a straw when honor's at the stake. How stand I then to have a father killed, a mother stained, excitements of my reason and my blood, and let all sleep, while to my shame I see the imminent death of 20,000 men that for a fantasy and trick of fame go to their graves like beds, fight for a plot whereon the numbers cannot try the cause, which is not tomb enough and continent to hide the slain? From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth.
Exit. Act 4, Scene 5. Elsinore, a room in the castle. Enter Horatio, Queen, and gentlemen.
I will not speak to her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father, says she hears there's tricks in the world. 'Twere good she were spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds.
Let her come in.
Enter Ophelia, distracted.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
Oh no, Ophelia.
How should I your true love know from another one?
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
No, pray you, mark. He is dead and gone, lady, he is dead and gone. At his head a grass-green turban, at his heels a stone.
Nay, but Ophelia.
Pray you, mark! White his shroud is the mountain snow.
Enter King.
Alas, look here, my lord.
Larded all with sweet flowers, which be wept to the grave did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God ild you? They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Huh? Lord, we know it, we are, but we know not what we may be.
Conceit upon her father.
Pray, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, and I made at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose and donned his clothes and up the chamber door, that in the maid that out a maid never departed more.
How long has she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. I cannot choose but weep to think that they would lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it. And so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Exit.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you.
Exit Horatio.
Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. Poor Ophelia. Her brother is in secret come from France.
Lack, what noise is this?
Enter a messenger.
What is the matter?
Save yourself, my lord. The young Laertes in a riotous head o'erbears your offices. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Laertes shall be king. Laertes shall be king.
A noise within. Enter Laertes.
Where is this king? O thou vile king, give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard.
Let him have his fill, Gertrude. One moment. Let me find you.
I can give you that line again.
Sorry?
I can give you that line again whenever you find it.
Yeah, let me find it. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I just closed down. Do you want to take it from your entrance?
Sure, yeah. Where is this king? Oh, thou vile king, give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. Let come what come, but I will be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, is it writ in your revenge that sweepstake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman, that I am guiltless of your father's death and am most sensibly in grief for it.
Noise within.
How now? What noise is that?
Enter Ophelia.
Oh, Rose of May. Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Oh, heavens. Is it possible a young maid's wits should be as mortal as an old man's life?
They bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey, nonny, 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 hey, nonny, nonny. And in his grave rained many a tear. Fare you well, my dove. There's rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. And there's a pansy. That's for thoughts. There's fennel for you. And columbines. Oh, here's rue for you. Here's some for me. We may call it Herba Graces Sundays. You must wear your rue with difference. There's a daisy. I'd give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end. For bonny sweet Robin is all my joy, and will he not come again? And will he not come again? God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God. God be with you.
Exit.
You see this? Oh, God.
Laertes, I must commune with your grief or you deny me right. Be you content to lend your patience to us, and we shall jointly labor with your soul to give it due content.
Let this be so. His means of death, his obscure funeral, no noble rite nor formal ostentation, cry to be heard as 'twere from heaven to earth, that I must call it in question.
So you shall. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall.
Exeunt. Act 4, Scene 6. Elsinore. Another room in the castle. Enter Horatio.
What are they that would speak with me?
Seafaring men, sir. They say they have letters for you.
Horatio. Ere we were 2 days old at sea, a pirate of very warlike appointment gave us chase. Finding ourselves too slow of sail, we put on a compelled valor, and in the grapple I boarded them. On the instant they got clear of our ship, so I alone became their prisoner. Let the king have the letters I have sent, and repair thou to me with as much speed as thou wouldst fly death. I have words to speak in thine ear, will make thee dumb. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course for England. Of them I have much to tell thee. Farewell. He that thou knowest thine. Hamlet.
Act 4, Scene 7. Elsinore. Another room in the castle. Enter King and Laertes.
Now you must put me in your heart for friend, since you have heard, and with a knowing ear, that he that hath your noble father slain pursued my life.
Well, it well appears, but tell me, why you proceeded not against these feats?
For two special reasons. The queen, his mother, lives almost by his looks. And for myself, she's so conjunctive to my life and soul that As the star moves not but in his sphere, I could not but by her. The other motive is the great love the general gender bear him, who, dipping all his faults in their affection, converts his gives to graces.
And so have I a noble father lost, a sister driven into desperate terms? But my revenge will come.
Break not your sleeps for that.
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet, this to your majesty, this to the queen.
From Hamlet? Who brought them?
Sailors, my lord.
Laertes, you shall hear them. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow I shall beg leave to see your kingly eyes, where I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and most strange return. Hamlet. What should this mean?
Know you the hand?
'Tis Hamlet's character, naked. And in a postscript he says alone. Can you advise me?
I'm lost in it, my lord. But let him come. It warms the very sickness in my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth. Thus didst thou.
If it be so, Laertes, will you be ruled by me?
Aye, my lord. So you will not o'errule me to a peace.
To thine own peace. If he be now returned, I will work him to an exploit now ripe in my device. You have been talked of since your travel much, and that in Hamlet's hearing, for a quality wherein they say you shine.
What quality is that, my lord?
For art and excellence in your defense, and for your rapier most especially.
What out of this, my lord?
Laertes, was your father dear to you? Or are you like a painting of a sorrow, a face without a heart?
Why ask you this?
What would you undertake to show your father's son in deed, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
Revenge should have no bounds, but good Laertes, will you do this? Keep close within your chamber. Hamlet returned shall know you are come home. We'll bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, most generous and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease or with a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unbaited, and in a passive practice, requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it, nothing save the thing from death that is but scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I gall him slightly, it may be death.
Let's further think on this. If this should fall, this project should have a back or second that might hold. So let me see. I have it. When in your motion you are hot and dry, and that he calls for drink, I'll have prepared for him a chalice for the nonce, whereon, but sipping, if he by chance escape your venom thrust, our purpose may hold there. But stay, what noise?
Enter Queen.
How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heel as fast as they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. There with fantastic garlands she did come, of crowned flowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples. There on the pendant bough her cornet weeds clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, then down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued to that element. But long it could not be till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned?
Drowned. Drowned.
Ooh, too much water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but at this folly drowns it.
Exit.
Let's follow, Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again. Therefore, let's follow.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 1. Elsinore, a churchyard. Enter two clowns with spades and pickaxes.
Is she to be buried in a Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sate on her and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be? Oh, unless she drowned herself in her own defense, eh? Yeah.
'Tis found so.
Okay.
Believe not the truth in it. If this had not been a gentlewoman, she had not been buried out of Christian burial.
Oh, well, why there thou sayest? And the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than their evan Christian. I mean, come, my spade, there is no ancient gentleman but a grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
Was the first that ever bore arms.
Why, he had none.
Oh, what art thou, a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam dig. Could he dig without arms? No. In youth, when I did love, me thought it was very sweet to contract all the time for my behold, me thought there was a muffin, a meat.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made it easy in him, hath made it in him a property of easiness.
But age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me into the land as if I'd never been such. Oh.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once.
A pickaxe and a spade for and a shrouding sheet, or a pick of clay for to be made for such a guest as meet. Woo, look at that.
There's another. I will speak to this fellow. Whose grave's this, Sirrah?
Mine, sir.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it.
Well, you lie out on it, sir, and therefore 'tis not yours. For my part, I do not lie in it yet. It is mine.
How does lie to be in and to say it is thine? 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore thou liest.
Oh, it is a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
Oh, for no man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
Well, one that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. How long has thou been a grave digger?
Of all the days of the year. I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet o'ercame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Oh, canst you not tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that was mad and sent to England.
Aye, Mary, but why was he sent into England?
Why? Because was mad. I shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, there's no great matter there.
Why?
Well, to not seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Oh, very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Well, faith, Ian, losing his wits.
On what ground?
Why, here in Denmark.
How long will a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Oh, faith, if it be not rotten before he die, it will last you some 8 or year or 9 year. Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Oh, a whoresome mad fellow's it was. Who do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
Oh, a pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. Huh? This same skull, sir, was Yorick's skull, the king's gesture.
This?
Oh, yeah, even that.
Oh, let me see. Ah, alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how bored in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that you were wont to set at the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning. Now, get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her paint an inch thick to this favor she must come, make her laugh at that. but soft aside.
Enter priests with a coffin and funeral procession, king, queen, Laertes with lords attendant.
Here comes the king, the queen, the courtiers. Who is this they follow? And with such maimed rites, this doth betoken the course they followed it with desperate hand, for do it own life. Couch we a while and mark.
What ceremony else?
Yes, Laertes, mark.
What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranty. Her death was doubtful. And but that great command or sway the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet.
Is there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth. I tell thee, churlish priest, a ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
At the fair Ophelia?
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I'd hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewn thy grave.
Oh, treble woe. Hold off the earth while, until I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul.
Thou prayest not well. I pray thee, take thy fingers from my throat. Hold off thy hand.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet! Hamlet!
Gentlemen! Gentlemen!
Good, my lord, be quiet.
The attendants part them and they come out of the grave.
I will fight him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
What theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he's mad, Laertes.
Oh, for love of God, forbear him.
Swoon, show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself? I'll do it. Dost thou know, dost thou come here to whine, to outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever, but it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew and the dog will have his day.
Exit.
I pray thee, good Horatio, wait upon him.
Exit Horatio.
Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceedings be.
Exeunt. Act 5, Scene 2. Elsinore, a hall in the castle. Enter Hamlet and Horatio.
You do remember the circumstance,
Remember it, my lord.
Up from the cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me in the dark, groped I to find out, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, that my desire lifted their packet, and in fine withdrew to my own room again, making so bold, my fears forgetting manners, to unseal their grand commission, where I found Horatio, no royal knavery, an exact command that my head should be struck off.
Is it possible?
Here's the commission. Read it at more leisure. But wilt thou bear me to hear how I proceed?
I beseech you.
Being thus benetted round with villainies, I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, that he should the bearers put to sudden death.
So Guildenstern and Rosencrantz go to it.
Why, man, they did make love to this employment. They are not near my conscience.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not, thinkst thee, stand me now upon he that hath killed my king and whored my mother? Is not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm?
It must be shortly known to him from England. What is the issue of the business there?
It will be short. The interim is mine. But I'm very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself, for by the image of my cause I see the portraiture of his.
Peace! Who comes here?
Ostrich, a courtier.
Your lordship is right. Welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence spirit.
My lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter. Here is newly come to court Laertes, believe me, an absolute gentleman. A true gentleman, full of most excellent differences, a very soft society, and great showing.
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes.
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant of what excellent Laertes is for his weapon.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
The king, sir, hath wagered with him that in a dozen passes between yourself and Laertes, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. It would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no? Sir, I will walk here in the hall, if it please his majesty. Let the foils be brought, the gentleman willing, and the king holds his purpose. I will win for him, if I can. If not, I will gain nothing but my shame in the odd hits.
Shall I redeliver you even so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordships.
Yours.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I have been in continual practice. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good, my lord.
It is but foolery.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair and hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. Since no man knows aught of what he leaves, what is to leave betimes? Let be.
Enter King, Queen, Laertes, Osric, and lords, with other attendants with foils and gauntlets, a table and flagons of wine on it.
Come, Hamlet, come. Take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I have done you wrong. But pardoned, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free in your most generous thoughts.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But in terms of honor, I stand aloof and will no reconcilement make. I do receive your offered love, like love, and will not wrong it.
I embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils, come on.
Come, one for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
Oh, no, by this hand.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager?
Very well, my lord. Your grace has laid the odds on the weaker side.
I do not fear it. I have seen you both.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well. These foils have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
Send me the stoops of wine upon that table. If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, the king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath. And in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Give me the cup. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judges, bear a wary eye.
Come on, sir.
Come, my lord.
1.
No.
Judgment.
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay. Give me drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first, set it by a while. Come! Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I do confess it.
Our son shall win.
Scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good, madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord, I pray you, pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
Yet it is almost against my conscience.
Come, for the third Laertes, you but dally. Pray, you pass with your best violence. I am afeard you make a wanton of me.
Say you so? Come on.
Nothing, neither way.
How about you now?
Laertes wounds Hamlet. Then, in a scuffling, they change rapiers, and Hamlet wounds Laertes.
Part them. They are incensed.
Nay, come again. The queen falls.
Look to the queen there. Pull.
They bleed on both sides. How is it, my lord?
How is it, Laertes?
Why, as a woodcock to my own springe, Osric. I am justly killed to my own treachery.
How does the queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No, the drink, oh my dear Hamlet, the drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, villainy. Oh, let the door be locked. Treachery, seek it out.
Laertes falls.
It is here, Hamlet. Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unbaited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again. Thy mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
The point in venom too? Then venom to thy work.
Urged the king.
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here, thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion. Is thy union here? Follow my mother!
King dies.
He is justly served. It is a poisoned, tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Dies.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I am dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, adieu. You that look pale and tremble at this chance that are but mutes or audience this act, had I but time, as this fell sergeant death is strict in his arrest, I could tell you. Let it be, Horatio. I am blessed. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. Here's yet some liquor left.
So hard a man, give me the cup, let go, by heaven I'll have it. Good Horatio, if thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story.
March afar off and shot within.
I die, Horatio. The potent poison quite o'ercrows my spirit. The rest is silent.
Dies.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels sing to thee, to thy rest.
March within. End of play.